walked my road alone, in fierce joy, but in weariness too, the weariness of solitude. For so long, I have yearned for a companion, to share with me this world, this eternity. But I shall walk alone no more. One shall walk beside me. One shall become my companion. Here, beneath the sky, lit by its numberless stars, we shall stand together and gaze towards the black shadows of the mountains, and we shall be filled with hunger and a silent longing, and the moon shall rise, and we will be the wolves, running the endless horizons rolling beneath our feet.
It began when I was working as an assistant lawyer in the offices of Mr. Hawkins, the solicitor. And it was in connection with that work, and from Mr. Hawkins' own lips, that I first heard the name of Dracula.
He lives in Eastern Europe, a country called Transylvania. Ever heard of it?
No, I can't say that I have.
Neither have I. Anyway, the point is, he wishes to move to England. Fallen in love with the place by all accounts, but he's never been here. I think he'll find the reality a bit different.
Mr. Dracula.
Count Dracula, my boy, Count Dracula. You know, these European chaps, they're quite touchy about their ancestry and all that good stuff. So, remember that when you meet him.
I'm to meet him?
Yes, that's what I'm coming to. You see, he got in touch with me through an agent of his, and the agent told me Count Dracula wishes to move to England. Money, no object. And he wants to find a reliable firm to arrange everything. And he chose us.
Your reputations travel far indeed, Mr. Hawkins.
So it would seem, and so shall you, all the way to Transylvania.
What? I'm to go there?
Yes, yes, that's what I'm telling you. You see, I found the perfect place for the Count.
And where's the place you found?
Oh, it's in the north, will be.
Really?
Do you know it?
No, but my fiancée is going there this summer to meet an old friend of hers.
What a coincidence. I think she come across this place. Carfax Manor it's called. And to be honest, it's a bit of a ruin, but that's what he wanted. Something old, spacious and remote.
You've written and told the Count?
I have, and he's written back and asked me to see him. But, you know, I'm too old for this job. So instead, I'm sending you. I think it's about time you saw something of the world.
I'm very grateful, Mr. Hawkins, to be entrusted with such a responsibility. It's a great honor.
Don't mention it. Here you go. Everything's inside. The deed, specifications, the photograph I took myself, and, oh, the documents. 3 for him to sign. And travel arrangements sent by the Count. Study everything carefully.
I will, and thank you, Mr. Hawkins.
You shall leave next week would be best. You know, the sooner you go, the sooner you'll be back. And then, my friend, it'll be time for celebration. And I'm not just talking about your upcoming marriage. You see, I'm looking for a partner, someone to run the job with. Do well, and the doors will be open for you.
Thank you.
Remember, it's a great opportunity. A great opportunity. And a great adventure.
A great adventure. So it seemed to me too. Even the distress I felt at having to part from Mina, my fiancée, couldn't quell the sense of excitement and anticipation. And we told each other it wouldn't be for long, and that when I returned, we would get married. From there, my journey was by coach, along roads increasingly remote, which wounded their way throughout the Carpathian Mountains. And at last, among the lower slopes of these mountains, I arrived at my penultimate destination, the town of Bistritz, and the Golden Crown Hotel, where I was to stay before setting out to the final stage of my journey.
English?
Yes, that's right.
It's a long way you've come. Edmund is very far from here.
It is, very far.
And you speak a German.
Thank you.
It's a good job. There's no one who speaks English here. How long will you stay?
Just the one night. I have to go on tomorrow through the Borgo Pass. Is there a coach that will take me?
Yeah, there's a coach that leaves at 4 tomorrow afternoon to Bukovina. Is that where you're going?
No, I only wish to go as far as the Borgo Pass.
But there's nothing there.
I was told there's a road that leads to the Castle Dracula.
Castle Dracula?
Yes, that's where I'm going. You know it?
Yeah, I know it.
And there's a road?
It's a track and it's not easy to walk.
Is it far though to the castle?
No.
but I'm sure I'll manage.
But the pass is many hours away. It will be too dark when you get there.
I don't mind.
If I'm permitted to ask, why do you go to Castle Dracula?
I have business with the Count.
Business? And you must go there tomorrow?
Yes, I must.
Stay here. 1 night is such a short time. Our town is beautiful. Stay a little longer, 2 nights. Go the day after tomorrow.
I wish I could. Your town indeed looks very beautiful, but my business is ever so pressing. Perhaps when I come back.
Do you know what tomorrow is?
It's the 4th of May.
St. George's Eve. On that 1 day and 1 night, the evil things of the world have sway. They rise and they walk aboard, and they are strong in their power. And that place to which you're going to,
What of it?
it's very old and many dead lie in its roots. That place has eaten much blood.
Look, I'm afraid I don't believe in such things. Despite her obvious concerns, I insisted I must travel on the next day. And seeing my determination, she fell silent and showed me to my room. I passed a quiet night and a pleasant morning, and she spoke no more of her fears, until the carriage arrived and I prepared to take my leave.
You are certain about going? You are decided?
Yes, I am.
Then take this. It's a cross. It's a sign of our Lord and Savior.
Really, I couldn't.
Take it. It will protect you. It's for your safety.
No! I mean, yes, I will take it.
And keep it with you at all times.
I will.
And may the God and the Holy Mother be with you and keep you from the evil.
I placed the crucifix in my pocket and forgot about it. I must have lost it, for I never saw it again. Within a short time of leaving the town, the sun began to set. And as we climbed higher through the pass, the mountains were bathed in a deep red light, and the sky had darkened above them, filling the whole world of me in shadow. We had reached the top of the Borgo Pass. I got out, found the road easily, and began my ascent down to Castle Dracula. But then, after I left the path, I turned back and made my way back to the road. But there was a movement within the shadows, and a figure stood before me.
Help me.
It was a young girl, or woman,
Will you help me?
dressed in rags, her face hidden by a hood,
Please, help me.
and speaking so pitifully, her voice frail and weak.
I'm lost. I don't know where I am. What is this place?
She held her hand out towards me, imploring a thin, white hand.
You will help me? I'm so alone, so lost and alone, so cold, so hungry.
A hand more bone than flesh, and nails like claws.
Lost and alone and cold and
No! Not him! Go away! Feed us for tonight. Mr. Harker. Mr. Jonathan Harker. From England.
Yes?
I am Count Dracula. I thought you might be lost, so I came down here to meet you. It was fortunate I did. Are you all right?
Yes, just...
But of course. You should not have left the road, Mr. Harker. In these parts, one should never leave the road. It is not wise.
That girl, who is she?
A girl. An orphan. She has lived here in the mountains since her parents died. There was a plague. Her mind is crazed. No real harm in her, though.
She seemed frightened of you.
Yes. Come now, Mr. Harker. Let us get back to the main road. My home is not far.
I followed him onto the road, and then on to his castle, a tall, imposing building. I didn't really take much of it in then. I was still tired and shaken after my experience, but I felt better after I'd eaten and thanked the Count. and assumed we'd be going through the documents the next day.
Unfortunately, no. I have to be away during the day on business. I will not be here when you wake. But I shall take the documents with me, and we can go over them when I return.
When will that be?
In the evening.
I see.
For the meantime, my home is yours. You may spend the day as you wish. Food will be prepared. But please, do confine your wandering to the house. The chapel in particular is in a state of great disrepair, and is not at all safe.
And the property?
Yes, I like it. May I have the documents now?
Of course.
Thank you, Mr. Harker. I shall begin studying them immediately. But you must be tired. Your room is at the top of the stairs. I hope you will find it comfortable. Good night.
I slept fitfully and woke into a clear, fine day. I found food waiting for me, ate, and passed the time exploring many rooms in the castle. From almost the moment of my waking, I was increasingly aware of a strangeness about this place. A sense of death and decay, a rottenness within its very stones. In every room and passage, I found evidence of history, and evidence once grand and noble.
My ancestors have lived here for many centuries, long before the building of this castle. They were a power in the land, a fierce, proud race, warrior poets, defenders of their homelands against the force of barbarism. They were true patriots, Mr. Harker. They loved their country. They fed its very earths and plains with their blood. Yet I am the last in their line. In me alone they have life, and there are times I grow weary. That is the reason I decided to come to your country, Mr. Harker. There is nothing for me here now, only the past, and one must look to the future, always.
Have you studied the documents?
Yes, everything appears to be in order.
And the property?
It's excellent. I can design them.
There's nothing you wish to discuss?
No.
You're ready to sign them?
No, not yet.
But you said everything was in order.
Indeed it is.
Then, may I ask for the reason of your not signing?
Why, of course. It is because I do not wish to. When I have completed my preparations for leaving, then I will sign. It will be my last act here.
Of course.
Is it difficult?
No, but I was hoping we would have our business concluded tonight and begin my way back home tomorrow.
Then I'm sorry to disappoint you, Mr. Harker. Is it so urgent, your return?
Not urgent, but desirable to me.
But it is desirable for me that you stay, Mr. Harker. Is it your heart that draws you home again? Your heart and your loved one?
What?
I found this among your papers. Your wife?
My fiancée.
Such fine, strong features. She is very beautiful. There is an ability about her, and depth of character. But do not worry, Mr. Harper. You shall see her again soon. Until then, please, remain my guest.
I looked at the photograph of Mina, the woman who was to be my wife, and it was as if I was seeing her for the first time, seeing her as he had seen her. There was something about the way he had looked at her, a kind of hunger in his eyes. I was unaccountably afraid.
It was a few weeks after Jonathan left that I went to Whitby to stay with Lucy. We've been friends since childhood, and I was so looking forward to seeing her. Especially as Jonathan's leaving, I had experienced an increasing sense of unease and anxiety, which came to me in strange, disturbing dreams. Dreams I could not remember waking, except, in all of them, there was a shadow, a formless shadow that seemed to be reaching out towards me.
Since when have you paid any attention to dreams, Mina?
I don't, Lucy, not really.
You poor thing. It's only that you're missing Jonathan.
Yes, I know.
But it won't be long before he's home back again, will it?
No.
There you are then. Dreams are nothing but dreams. Nothing to be gloomy about.
Am I gloomy? I'm sorry, I don't mean to be. I'll try and be more cheerful.
Good, because I have some cheerful news. Some very cheerful news indeed. I wonder if you can guess.
I'd rather you told me.
And I'd rather you'd guess. Look at me, Mina. Can't you guess? Please, Mina.
And then I saw the truth of it. Was it what it was that made her eyes shine so? That had deepened the color in her face? That lent a brightness to her whole being? I saw what it was that she'd been bursting to tell me ever since she's met me at the station. She said a proposal of marriage.
No, you're wrong.
Oh, I was sure.
Not one proposal, 3. First of all, there's Dr. Seward. He would just do for you, Mina, if you weren't already engaged to Jonathan. Although he's only 29, he's in charge of a large asylum in town.
Lucy, there is something I need to speak to you about. I will come straight to the point.
He was trying to be so cool and yet composed, and even though I could tell how nervous he was.
Though I have known you but a brief while, Lucy, you have become dear to me, very dear. And I hope I might have also become dear to you. So, in fact, dear, don't you want to share your life with me?
Of course I told him that I could not. Not because of any ill feelings towards him, but because my heart belonged to another.
Another?
I understand, there is no need to apologize.
Then he took my hand so tenderly into his, and spoke to me with complete kindness and I believe sincerity.
I hope you will be happy with the man you have chosen. And if ever you find yourself in need of a friend, you must count me as one of your best.
Poor Dr. Seward. Now, what is the second?
The second is a man with the delightful name of Quincy Morris.
Quincy B. Morris.
He's an American, and though he has lived here for many years, he lost all but a trace of his accent.
A good friend of John Seward. And Arthur Homewood, whom I believe you also know.
And on many evenings, he amused us with his stories and tall tales.
Tell the world I have, and there's nothing I like better. I've been in places and seen such things that you folks here in safe little England would never even dream of.
And then one of those evening games when we were alone, and he made his quite unexpected proposal.
Tell the world I have, and there's nothing I like better. But I'd be willing to hang up my boots and settle for a warm fire in a little country house, if I thought I'd be sharing that fire and that house with the one who means most to me. You, Lucy.
And again I said that I could not accept such an offer, because my heart belonged to someone else.
Someone else again? Who is this someone else?
Be patient, you'll hear.
I have to tell you, Lucy, I'm disappointed. Mighty disappointed. I thought we got on tolerably well. Well enough, in fact, to... But it seems I was mistaken. But you've been honest with me, honest and direct, and I thank you for that. And though you may not have found a husband in me, you found yourself a true friend, one who will never let you down, no matter what kind of fix you're in. I thank you again, and I, take my leave.
And he was gone. But he'd been so sweet, my heart felt like breaking until...
Lucy.
Arthur, the only son of Lord Godot. I've never told you of him before. Of how he won my heart from the moment we first met. I've never told you, I've never confessed any feelings towards him. And he haven't done the same until that night.
But now I do, and I ask if you will do me the grace or and become my wife.
And this time you said yes?
This time I said yes.
And maybe the happiest. I'm afraid I must leave for a little while to return home. My father is not well, but when he's better and when I return, then we shall be married.
So it's to be Arthur Homewood then?
Yes, it could be no other. But Nina, Dr. Seward and Mr. Morris, they're so sweet, and I do have some affection for them.
Of course you do, Lucy.
Sometimes I wonder why a woman must have choose only one man to be her husband.
Lucy.
Have I shocked you, Mina? Do you think I'm wicked? I can't help what I think.
No, I don't think you're wicked, but I think you should be satisfied with one husband, as I'll be with Jonathan.
Yes, you're right, of course. Perhaps we can make it a double wedding. Me and Arthur, you and Jonathan once you come back from abroad. This would quite my happiness. I don't know what I've deserved to do have such good friends, but all I know I have to thank God for giving me such good husband and good true friends.
But though we were good and true friends,
Though we kept her in our hearts and thoughts,
I love her more than anything.
we were powerless to help her.
God was powerless to help her.
The time of the evil came.
I woke suddenly. It was still dark. I couldn't tell the time. It was a kind of no time. I noticed at first a sweet, rich smell, a sickly perfume that was almost visible. And then, voices. I heard voices singing, soft at first, but growing stronger. A song without words. A song so beautiful, so fearful. A song of longing and desire and despair. And with that song came the mist. It drifted about the room and glowed with a pale light. And there were shadows in the mist. Shadows which took shape and form. And these shadows stepped out of the mist and stood before me.
From black chasms we come, from earth's deep, from hell's pit.
From night's throat we come.
Listen to us.
Be still. Listen, hear our voice.
It is the scratch of the rat in the dry tongue.
The scratch of the spider's leg on the floor. The scratch of the bat's wing in the hollow cave.
Do not move.
Do not stir. Be still. We cannot move.
We are the death that cannot die.
We are the heart that cannot beat. We are the soul that cannot find.
We are hunger.
We are all the hungers under the cold moon. We are hunger, and you are our prey.
And already you're dead.
Already we feed.
Claws tear, teeth red. We suck the hot blood from your veins.
We suck the rich life from your limbs.
We suck the life's breath from your soul. We're hunger.
We are all the hungers under the cold moon.
We are hunger, and you are our prey.
No! Leave him! Go away! This man is not for you. He belongs to me.
Well then for us!
Where do we feed?
Is there nothing for us?
Feed very well. The child in the cot, the old woman by her fire, the priest at his prayers, all are for your taking. Accept him!
You are our master!
You made us, we are yours.
A gift for your creatures. A gift! A gift!
You think I would forget my children? Outside, there is something. It lives. It kicks. Its life is young. Its blood newborn. Go, take it, and feast well, my children.
A child!
A human child.
He gives us life. He gives us blood.
Come, sisters, we go.
We go to feed.
You think this is a dream, Mr. Harker? A terrible dream for which you will wake? I tell you, this is no dream, and you shall not wake. Your world is the dream. This world, the reality. And soon, very soon, this world will engulf you in darkness forever. It will engulf you and she who has your heart. You belong to me, Mr. Harker, and so does she. And I shall feed upon you both. You first, then her. And it is you who sent me to her. You gave her to me, Mr. Harker. No less, and despair.
I woke the next morning from horror into horror. I was locked within my room, a captive and prey, to a monster that fed on human blood. My only hope lay in escape, and throughout the day and the night that followed, I formulated a plan.
The letters from Jonathan stopped coming. 1 week passed, a second week, and I heard nothing from him. I told myself that he was in a remote part of the world, that his duties would occupy much of his time, and that there were any number of reasons why I should not hear from him. Yet I could not dispel the feeling of unease that grew daily within me. But I did my best to allay my fears and to spend my time pleasantly with Lucy, who was happier than I'd ever known her. And she seemed the happiest of all when we walked together in the churchyard behind the old abbey which stood on the headland, looking down upon the harbour and out across the sea.
This is Mina Mr. Swells, our town's oldest inhabitant, so they say.
And how would you know my name and my age, miss?
My mother's told me all about you. He's known as something of an oracle, aren't you, Mr. Swells?
Perhaps you could tell me something then, Mr. Stills. I've heard it said that whenever a ship is lost at a sea, a phantom boat tows out in a harbor.
Hey, I've heard it said as well, and by women and men with more education than me. But come the last day, the dead will rise out of their graves and be as they were in life. Do I believe in ghost stories? No, miss, I don't. Take these here in the churchyard. I've come to sit here for longer than I care to remember, and in all that time, I haven't seen one of them so much as sneeze, let alone walk out of their grave.
I think the weather will break soon.
Twill, and break with a vengeance if I'm not mistook.
I hope it will bring us some relief. These last days have been so hot and oppressive.
Let's hope that's all it brings, naught else.
What do you mean, Mr. Swells?
I don't actually know. Call it a feeling.
This isn't like you, Mr. Swills. You sound almost superstitious.
Maybe it's that I can just feel my own death approaching.
Mr. Swells, you're hale and hearty yet.
Maybe and maybe not. Who knows when death will come for us? However, whenever it comes, and whatever form it takes, I pray that I may meet it grinning.
We left him there and returned to Lucy's home, and I wish I'd turned around and looked upon him once more, for after that evening, I never saw him in the world again.
I watched them go, and there was so much more I wanted to tell them. Bolt your doors, seal your windows shut, for there's something coming over the North Sea, riding tall and proud. And although I couldn't see its face, it smells of death. I wanted to tell them that, but I didn't. And the next morning, they found me dead, and my heart burst, and my egg broken. And thus, evil cast a shadow upon the land, and took possession.
Yesterday's storm was perhaps the most ferocious to have erupted on the town so far. It has also brought with it events so strange and unique that they will remain imprinted on the town's memory for a long time to go. The most noteworthy of them was the appearance of a ship at the height of the storm. Against all apparent odds, the ship drew into the harbor, where the townsfolk were waiting to greet and congratulate the crew, until it was discovered that, but for one man, there was no crew aboard, and that one was a corpse tied to the ship's wheel. As a coast guard, I was first on board the vessel. She was Russian, a merchantman. Her name, the Demeter. What became of her crew, God will ever know. As for the poor fellow at the ship's wheel, some desperate need must have driven him to lash himself there. The rope had cut his flesh to bone, and there was a crucifix clutched in his right hand. The doctor later confirmed that he'd been dead for 2 days, but could find no definite cause of death, except perhaps fear. As for the ship's cargo, all I found in the hold were several wooden boxes, about 6 feet in length, that contained nothing but moldering earth. The whole thing is a mystery.
My master! My master has come! Master, hear me! I'm ready to do your bidding! Master!
What's all this noise over in field? Keep it down!
My master has come with the storm. He summons, and he brought him!
Who are you talking about?
My master!
Oh, and who might your master be, Renfield? Old Nick, most likely. Or Old King Cole.
I waited for him a long time. I've been faithful. He knows I have, and he will reward me for my faithfulness.
You are going to get a reward, are you?
Yes. He promised I would.
And what will that reward be?
Life! Eternal life.
His master must be God Almighty then. Oh, like I said, the devil.
Life is blood, and blood is life.
There he goes
life
again.
Is blood, and blood
Shut
is life.
it, will you,
Life
Renfield?
is blood, and blood is life.
Gets on my nerves. Mine too. That's enough, I said! Give us a break from it! Shut it, or shut it for you! No!
What's going on? Bennett, stop that.
She had a quitters, Dr. Seward. Scratch my face with the nails of his. Look, he's drawn blood. Went wild, he did.
Even so, I have told you before. We are not to use violence against our patients.
Even if they use violence against us?
And that's what marks the difference between them and us, Mr. Withers.
He appears calm enough now.
Don't let that fool you. There's a murder in his heart, sure enough. Cut all over throats if he could.
Renfield? Renfield, what are you doing?
Oh,
Life is blind.
God. He's licking my blood of his fingers. He's an animal, that's what he is.
No, Mr. Bennett, he's not. And that's the tragedy of it. He's all too human. You can go, both of you, now. I will stay with him for a while.
We won't be far if you need us.
Okay. After my disappointment concerning the matter of Miss Lucy Westenra, I devoted myself even more to the work here at the asylum. I became intrigued by the case of one particular patient here, Renfield, whose mania showed itself in a most singular obsession, which I had discovered some time ago, upon one of my first visits to him. Renfield, what did you have there?
You can't have it. It's mine.
I don't want it, whatever it is. I just want to know what it is. Show me, would you?
Careful, I mustn't escape.
Oh, a fly!
Yes, one of many, many. There shall be many.
He requested sugar to lay in small piles around his cell, to which he used to attract the flies, and also a small box in which to keep them. I saw no reason to deny his requests. I was, in fact, eager for him to continue in his obsession, in order that I should observe it and see where it might finally end.
You hear them? Buzzing, buzzing, fat flies filled with life. Box is full. Can take no more.
What will you do with them?
Wait. Hold this. Now we can move on.
What's that, another fly?
No, it's not flies that I want now. It's spiders. See? I have a spider. And he shall feast well and grow fat.
Needless to say, I did not see. But daily I observed him gripped in this obsession of his, almost as eager as him for him to continue and see where the ultimate end will be.
Life is blood and blood is life.
What's that you said?
Life is blood and blood is life. Spiders eat flies and birds eat spiders. And there's a whole box full of spiders for a bird to feed on. And he will grow full fat and full of blood and life.
So at last I began to glimpse some reason in this obsession of his. From flies he moved on to spiders, from spiders to birds, luring several sparrows from outside into his room.
And the right mess they have made of it as well. Filth and droppings everywhere. You sure it's healthy to keep him here, Dr. Seward?
They are not such a nuisance at present that it should or will be interesting to see what he intends to do with them.
Oh my God! You animal! You filthy, stinking animal!
What's going on, Mr. Withers?
Him? You know what he's doing? He's eating one of those blessed birds. Didn't even kill it. Just stuffed it in his mouth. Alive and raw.
No harm, eh, Dr. Seward? If you ask me, there's nothing but harm in that one. He's a creature full of harm and wickedness.
You should get this place clean of these birds, or he'll soon clean it for us.
Well, after we took the birds away, to which he made most violent objection, he sank into a morbid, depressed state, repeating all over and over his almost prayer-like chant.
Life is blood and blood is life. Life is blood and blood is life. Life is blood and blood is life.
Until the night of the storm.
Life is blood and blood is life. My master is here! My master has come!
The night of madness and horror.
My master is here and he brings me freedom!
The night when evil came.
My master has come in the belly of the storm. My master has come and he brings me blood!
The storm came, but brought no break in the weather. The days that followed were still hot and oppressive, almost unbearable. And with that oppressiveness, my concern for Jonathan's welfare increased. But not only for him. Since the storm, Lucy had become restless and distracted. She told me of strange, unsettling dreams, which seemed to sap her energy. She feared the coming of night, she said. She feared these dreams that haunted her. But then, one night, I awoke from some dream to find her bed empty. The large window that faced out onto the garden was open. I rose and went out. There was dew on the grass and I could see her footprints leading across the garden. But there was something strange about her. It was as if she was waiting for someone or something. What I saw next made me think that I was still sleeping, still in a grip of some terrible dream. Out of the shadows, a figure approached her, stood over her, and she raised her head towards him as if in greeting. The figure stooped over her, and she was lost in the darkness of its shadow. And I knew it was no dream, that it was real. And I gave a cry, and the figure turned its head towards me. And in the light of a full moon, I could see its face. And it was the face of a beast.
No. Mina, what's happening? What am I doing out here?
It's all right, Lucy. You've been sleepwalking, that's all.
Sleepwalking?
Yes, I woke up and found your bed empty. I followed you here.
Mina, I'm frightened.
Frightened of what?
I don't know.
It's all right. There's nothing to be frightened of. I'm here. It's cold. Let me wrap your shawl more closely around you. Oh, I'm sorry. I must have caught your neck with the pin. There, no harm done.
In the days that followed, my daughter grew increasingly lethargic. I, of course, was much concerned for her welfare, but hoped that with the care and attention of Mina and myself, she would soon recover her full health.
But she didn't. With each passing day, the life and energy seemed to be draining out of her body. Yet, at night, she could not sleep. Several times I woke up to find her sitting up in bed, staring wildly about her as if disturbed by some presence I could not perceive.
There. Red eyes. Pale face. Something scratching at the glass. It wants to get in.
It's only a dream, dear. Pay no heed to it. Dreams can't harm you. It is only a dream, isn't it?
Of course. What else could it be?
I don't know. I'm sure I don't know.
I told her nothing of what I seen that night in the churchyard, for I hardly knew what it was myself.
I wrote to Mr. Holmwood and told him of Lucy's condition, and he replied by return of post to say that he would be with us within the week. I felt sure that his arrival would do something to revive Lucy.
There. The same. Always the same. Do you see, Mina? There.
What do you mean, Lucy? Who is that man? Do you know him?
No. At least, I don't know. It's like the dream I have every night.
Don't think of your dreams. Think of Arthur. He'll be here soon, and everything will be all right.
And I was glad that he was coming, being not one myself. I don't know how I'd have cared for Lucy alone, because shortly after, Mina told us she'd have to leave.
I've had news of Jonathan. A letter came today from a hospital in Budapest. That's where he is now. He's been ill, but he's recovering. That's why I haven't heard from him these past weeks.
Ill? And do they say in the letter what's wrong with him?
Not exactly. He appears to have had some kind of breakdown.
Oh, Mina.
So, you do see, don't you? I must go.
Yes, Mina, of course you must.
Go to Jonathan, he needs you. Arthur will be here in a day or two, and thanks to your dear care and your loving friendship, I'm feeling much better. By the time you return, I'll be my quiet old self again.
I'm certain you will, Lucy.
You can depend upon it.
So I said farewell to Lucy and left, eager to make the journey, but full of fear and apprehension as to what I might find at the end of it.
And we could not imagine,
No one could ever imagine.
When we came to stay with her,
to love, protect her,
To be her guardians as we promised.
we could not imagine what world it was.
what world of shadow had fallen across ours.
I had called to Lucy.
And she had never entered it.
I was abroad when my former student, Dr. Stewart, wrote to me concerning the girl's case. And though it intrigued me, and I gave it my full attention, yet I did not realize the grave danger she was in. I wrote back to him and suggested certain courses of action that should be taken. And to be honest, put a case to the back of my mind.
Her condition only seemed to grow worse.
She grew weaker and paler every day, as if something was draining blood from her body.
I lived my life between walking and dreaming, not knowing which was which, as if my soul was slowly being drawn from my body.
The second letter I received from Dr. Stewart informed me in more of a detail about her symptoms, foremost of which was an extreme anemia with accompanying lethargy. I wrote back to him that she be given with no delay a transfusion of blood, an attempt to arrest the illness.
But nothing worked. Nothing. No treatment or remedy.
It seemed we were all powerless to help her.
And the only outward sign of any infection is 2 wounds to her neck.
2 wounds to her neck. It was then, and only then, that the true nature of her illness came clear to me. I wrote back that I would come there myself. And meanwhile, her room was to be hung up with flowers of wild garlic, doors and windows especially. I will explain all when I arrive.
Flowers of garlic? Is this medical science or peasant superstition?
Despite our doubts, we did as Professor Van Helsing had instructed.
Because quite frankly, I was at loss, and there seemed nothing else we could do.
There he waits to gain the entrance. The same, always the same.
What was that you said, Lucy?
Oh, did I speak, Mother?
Yes.
I don't know what I said. Nothing of importance.
It's getting dark. Come away from that window now. Get into bed.
I want to watch the sunset. Isn't it beautiful, Mother?
What? The sunset?
The world, Mother. The world is so beautiful. It's so bad for the darkness to come and take it from us.
The world is still there, in the dark. It's only the light that's gone. Get into bed and the light will return all the sooner.
I'm afraid the light will never come again.
Lucy, what do you mean?
Nothing.
You make me afraid when you speak like that.
I'm sorry. I'm very tired. I don't know what I'm saying.
Get into bed then.
No. I want to be here. I'll be all right. Go and keep Arthur company.
He has company. Have you forgotten? Dr. Seward and Mr. Morris are both here.
Yes, my fit guardians. Aren't I lucky, Mother?
Yes, you are. And I'm very lucky to have such a daughter as you.
Kiss me good night. Mother, will you tell Arthur that I love him very much?
You can tell him that yourself. Do you want him to come and see you?
No. Please just tell him.
All right, I will.
Goodbye then.
Good night, dear.
I turned my back to look out of the window. The sun had almost set. A line of darkness was rising up into the sky, spreading, deepening. And in the dark, a black dot was reaching towards me, and my death was approaching.
Lucy, I have come for you at last. Come to me. Come willingly. You know you must.
Where's my mother? I want my mother.
She will not come. I showed her my face, and it was too much. She's dead. Gone to hell, with all our sins upon her.
No!
Why should you care about the dead? The dead mean nothing to just you and I. We tower above them. We stride the world like giants. We are immortal. Soon, you too will know the taste of pure freedom. And there is none so sweet. One kiss. One last kiss is all. There.
Where are you going?
It is done. But I must go now. But we shall see each other soon.
And he was gone. But the darkness remained, and my soul wept. And in a while, my life would become eternal as well.
So I came at last to the house of stern mourning. And though I had failed the poor girls against their struggle with the oar, yet I knew there was still work to be done. Because I may have came too late to save her life. But maybe not too late to save her soul.
Arthur, Quincy, this is the man I have told you of. Professor Van Helsing.
I'm very pleased to meet you both, although I wish the circumstances had been happier.
So do we, Professor. None more so than Arthur here.
Mr. Holman, you're the poor man to be married to this young lady. My sincere condolences too. Please, tell me what happened.
What is there to tell? She died.
Yes, but if you could tell me in more of a detail her last moments.
What the hell for? What good would it do?
It may help to prevent others from succumbing to the same illness.
You think it might be something contagious?
It may be. I'm not sure though I have all the facts in front of me. So please.
I went in early in the morning to see her. She was lying on the floor, and the window was open.
Open? I clearly said that they had to be shut down at all times, especially during the night.
The window had been closed. I checked it myself before I went to bed.
And what about the garlic flowers that to be hung from it?
Yeah, Miss Westerna had them removed, the smell.
Oh, that was a bad mistake.
If it was, Mrs. Tunra paid a heavy price for it.
Yes, she died as well. From heart failure, said John.
Yes, that's right. I found her in her own bedroom. The window was open there as well.
I see. Mr. Homewood, if you can find it in yourself to continue, please.
I put her back into bed. I could see she was very weak. Her breathing was so shallow.
And did she say anything?
No.
Nothing.
Well, she did try to speak just before the end.
And did you understand what she said?
No, her voice was too weak. Is it important?
It may have been. We are not sure. And what about her end? Was it peaceful?
Yes, yes, very peaceful. She passed as gently from this world as she had lived in.
Very pleased to hear it. And what about the 2 wounds on her neck? John, you wrote to me about 2 little wounds caused by a pin of a brooch.
Yeah, they weren't particularly serious, but they wouldn't heal.
And were they still open when she died?
No. They have healed up entirely. In fact, there was no sign of them.
I see. And her features in death. They were peaceful.
I've already told you.
May I see her, please?
She's in her coffin.
Just for a little moment.
It's been sealed.
Not less.
No! No, you may not see her. All these questions we're asking, what do they matter? What does any of this matter? She's dead. Nothing you can do will bring her back.
He's understandably upset.
We all are. Professor.
Yes. Forgive my briskness, Mr. Morris. It is not my intention to cause any undue distress to the bereaved. However, no. You'll talk no more. As Mr. Holmes said, let the poor soul of Miss Wistendrap be laid to rest.
Amen
And
to
let us
that.
pray. John, what do you think killed her?
I confess, I'm not certain. Loss of blood was certainly a factor.
And that continued, although you gave her the transfusions I suggested.
Yes, it was baffling, a mystery.
There are many things that are mystery about this business, John. And many may it be revealed.
What do you mean?
Once the funeral is over, John, you and I shall go and have a talk in private. There are many things I must tell you about. Many things I've learned about. And they may have direct bearing on this business. And if I'm correct, we still may have work to do.
What do you mean?
Now is not the time. Go. Let us join the others. We'll talk later.
I was playing with my friends by the abbey. It was dark when they went home, but I stayed a bit longer because I like watching fishing boats come in. After I watched them, I turned around to go home, and that's when I saw the lady. She was standing there, looking at me. And when I saw her, she smiled and spoke to me.
Do you want to go for a walk?
It's getting dark.
You're not afraid of the dark, are you?
No.
Then come for a walk with me.
She was very beautiful and had a nice voice. And she walked towards me and held out her hand.
I don't like walking alone. Come and keep me company.
So I did, and she took me through the abbey and into the churchyard.
Here we are.
Where?
Here. Don't you like it here? Among the dead, it's so peaceful.
I ought to go home now.
Why? Why do you want to go home? Stay here with me, please. I'm lonely.
You see?
Yes, it's her, Lucy.
Yes. But what you see is no Lucy. This is the undead, the vampire. Now you know that what I've told you is true.
Yes.
Quickly! We must act now before she preys on this child. Go, evil one! Go! You shall not have him! Go! Return to your tomb! John, see the child, please. I will meet you at the asylum. Bring Mr. Homewood and Mr. Morris there. It is time for them that they too learn about the business that's going around here. I placed the crucifix at the entrance of the tomb, so no harm could be done that night. Then, as we had planned, I met with the others at the asylum. I've told them what I've told Dr. Seward about what I've found out throughout these years about this creature of darkness and blood, the vampire. He told us how, from ancient times, there had been tales of those who lived after death, creatures of the dark whose souls were lost, whose existence was a death in life.
How his undead could take on both human and animal forms, the were and are known by many varied names: the werewolf, the zombie, Nosferatu, the vampire.
Having no soul, they have no humanity. They are only beasts hidden in human body, driven only by their appetite.
And that appetite is for human blood. Blood sustains them, drives them. They feed on the blood of the living.
During the day, they sleep in their graves and tombs, for to be touched by the sun's light is fatal to them. The night is their time, and it is then they walk the earth, immortal, seeking their victims in the hours of darkness.
And once they have found the victim, they prey on him, feed upon him, drain the blood from him. With each feeding, their power over their enemy grows, until the death comes. But no ordinary death, as the power of the vampire had been inherited by its victim. And he too rises from his grave and feeds upon others in turn.
And this, he said, is what happened to Lucy.
Lucy had been the victim of a vampire.
And she in turn had become a vampire.
But I didn't believe it. I wouldn't. Even as he went that evening to Lucy's tomb, I refused to believe it.
Then I told them what I had seen that very night. How I had seen Lucy walking, or the monster that inhabited Lucy's body. How I, a scientist, was forced, through the evidence of my rational senses, to admit the existence of such power in this world, and that there are such shadows.
Is everything here is instructed?
Yes.
Then we are ready. And the coming of the night, we must act.
But still, we find it hard to believe.
Even as that night we went to meet her, I refused to believe it.
Even as we stood there, waiting, as the sun set, I could accept nothing of what we'd been told.
Until the light died, and the shadows deepened, and the thing of darkness came walking from the tomb.
You see? It is her.
I thought we had sealed her.
Last night I did, but tonight I moved the crucifix.
Why?
So they could too see what she has become. Whatever she does or says, don't approach her. She's very hungry and very dangerous.
Arthur, is it you?
Lucy?
Take care, Mr. Homewood.
Arthur, my love. You have come for me at last.
Is it you?
Yes, it is me, Lucy.
Don't be deceived by her.
Your true love.
It's not Lucy, it's a monster.
Leave me.
You can see I'm alive. I'm not dead.
No,
Come to me, Arthur.
don't go to her, Mr. Homewood. Don't go.
Let me go.
That's right, Arthur. Come to me. We will never be parted again.
Lucy.
No! Back, evil one! You shall not have him! Go! Go away! Return where you belong!
Arthur, are you okay?
I still love her.
Then, help her find her peace. Break the shackles from her soul that bind it. Do you think you have the strength of your heart to do so?
I think so. I pray so.
Here, I have the weapons of mercy. Let us go into the tomb and do what must be done.
We entered the tomb. She was lying in her coffin. As I approached, I saw her eyes open, saw the savage light flushing come, the thirstiest and piteous hunger. She strove to rise, but could not, pinned down by the power of the cross. I knew now this wasn't us. It was some evil thing that had fed on us, and would feed on ours, and go on feeding unless it was destroyed. I stood myself to task. I took up the weapons of mercy. I commended myself to God, and drove wooden stake into her heart.
No! No! Stop! Stop!
By her face, you could see she was a sad piece.
And it was done. But it was not over.
The hospital in Budapest where I found Jonathan was run by a religious order who cared for the sick. He had been found wandering around on the outskirts of the city. Except from exhaustion, there wasn't anything physically wrong with him. So I nursed him back to health, and there, in Budapest, we were married and our journey back to England began.
And it was on that return voyage that I finally found the courage to tell Mina all that I've experienced. But I still hesitated, because I thought she wouldn't believe me, and she would think that I'm mad.
And indeed, when he first told me, I didn't know what to think. I couldn't bring myself to believe that such evil existed in our world. It was only then when I learned that Lucy and her mother were dead, when I started to perceive some possible connection.
And so they traveled to Whitby. I met with Dr. Stewart and Mr. Holmwood there, and they too learned the circumstances that surrounded Lucy's death. At Dr. Stewart's suggestion, they met with me, and I too heard Mr. Harker's story.
So, you believe it was Count Dracula who killed Lucy?
I'm almost certain of it, but I'm not sure until I have all the facts in front of me. What did Dr. Stewart tell you about Lucy's death?
Not everything, I'm certain. Mr. Holmwood was with us, and I think he was afraid of distressing him.
Go to Dr. Stewart again. Ask him to tell you everything. You may find it distressing, but I think it's time for you to learn what caused Lucy's death. Meanwhile, Mr. Harker, I would like you to go to Carfax Manor and ask if anybody has taken residence there in recent times.
Of course.
I myself will go to London. I have a friend of mine there who is an expert on European genealogies, and I hope I will find out more there about this Count Dracula.
Although we were staying with Dr. Stewart, I had to wait until he had finished his morning duties until I could speak with him. It was then when he told me of Lucy's death and of what followed after it. To think of her as I always known her, as I saw her last, of her dying like that, that was bad enough. But to think of what she had to become, having to endure a second death. I was silent when he told me. I said nothing. There was nothing to be said. I couldn't say how I felt. I didn't know what I should feel. But then, for a moment, I saw the dark world she had entered, the dark world she had walked in. For a moment, it opened up before me.
Mr. Harker?
I'm sorry, Dr. Stewart?
Yes, I understand.
You were talking of someone?
Yes, a patient here, Renfield. I believe he too may be connected with this matter.
Yes, tell me of him.
I can do more than that. If you wish to, you can see him.
Yes, yes, I would love that.
Is this all? No more? No more for me? Spiders, flies, birds, you send them to me, drifting on the golden rays of light. Little sustenance, a gift for yours. So gracious, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Rats, you said. Meat you promised. Meat is blood, and blood is life. I've waited, I've been faithful. You know I have. But I've been waiting for so long, and this is all!
Renfield, you hear me? We've got a surprise for you in the store.
A very nice surprise indeed. You're going to have a visitor.
And not just any visitor, a visitor of female variety.
A woman. A young woman.
A friend of Dr. Stewart or something. She has asked to look around the place.
God knows why she would want to see you.
Yes, yes, I've heard. Any friend of the good Dr. Stewart is a friend of mine too. She'll be made more than welcome.
Going to serve her tea and cake, are you?
Sadly, such simple civilized amenities are not available to me in here.
What are you doing? Why are you looking out of the window?
The evening is beautiful, isn't it?
It's like any other evening.
No, it's not. It's your world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wild flower, to hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour.
What are you on about, Renfield?
It may be once that I thought by eating living creatures I could reach immortality. But that has been a delusion, a psychosis, which I have been now cured.
Cured, are you?
Yes, I applied to Dr. Stewart for a release.
Yeah, we know all about that.
And we know something else. You ain't going to get it.
Dr. Stewart will never release you. And you know why? Tell him why.
Because you're a loony. That's why.
I don't understand.
Oh, yes, you do. All this pretending you're better or you're cured. What's going in that nasty little head of yours, Renfield?
Sure, I don't know what are you talking about. I hear some steps. I hear them coming. I guess they are here.
Renfield, you have a visitor.
Oh, I was told to have a visitor, but I didn't thought you'd be one so exquisite. Madam, I would like to welcome you to my humble abode. Please, please.
Thank you, Mr. Enfield.
Well, is it that you've come here? And I would like to greet you, but as you can see, the place in here, it's terrible. I'm so sorry.
It's no matter.
Oh, but it does matter to me. But I've got great hopes of being soon released from this place. And then, maybe we can meet under more comfortable circumstances.
Is that so, Dr. Stewart? Is Mr. Enfield to be released?
Well, he asked me to consider it, and well, I am considering it.
I hope not too long, Doctor.
We shall have to wait and see.
Well, I vote for your judgment, but, Madam, you have the advantage of me.
In what way?
Well, that you know my name, but I don't know the beautiful one of yours.
Forgive me, I should have introduced myself. I'm Mrs. Harker.
Mrs. Harker, did you say?
What's the matter, Renfield?
Are you the wife of Jonathan Harker?
Yes, that's right. Do you know him?
Yes, no, maybe. I've had once something with his employer.
Mr. Hawkins?
Yes, that's the man. He mentioned your husband's name to me.
Favorably, I hope.
What?
I said-
You're his wife then, Mrs. Harker. Mrs. Jonathan
He's
Harker.
going for harvest trains again.
And you come here,
Mr. Enfield?
Perhaps we should.
in this place, here now.
We ought to leave.
Oh yes, you ought to leave. You certainly ought to leave.
He sometimes gets distressed like this, and he can become violent.
No, but you won't leave. He won't let you.
What do you mean?
He don't mean anything.
It's just all his ravings.
Come, Miss Harker.
Because you're so beautiful, even more than she was. Your skin's so soft.
That's enough of that.
Don't hurt him! Poor man! Can't you see how wretched he is?
Yes, I'm wretched. I'm wretched in hell.
We should go now.
Yes, I've seen enough.
Cured then, are you? Ready to
Ready.
go back into the world?
You know what, Renfield? Somehow, I don't think so.
Because you're just mad.
Oh yes, I'm nasty. I'm thoroughly nasty.
And that's why you're here.
And that's why I will stay here forever.
But that's not just me. It's all of you. All of us. No difference between you and I. All thoroughly nasty pieces of
Speak
work.
for yourself.
You're the beast, not us.
The lowest kind of beast.
So just remember that. Hey, you need this.
No!
So, you want to know about Carfax Manor, do you?
You're caretaker there, aren't you?
Yeah, I've been caretaker here for the past 10 years, though if you want the job, you're more than welcome to have it. I'm done with the place.
I'm interested in a delivery recently made. The end of, well, the start of August.
And what might you be wanting to know about that for?
I'm a lawyer. The whereabouts of these goods are of legal importance.
Well, I'll tell you then. It's with the delivery of them goods that all my troubles began. Goods, you call them. Boxes, you call them. Boxes full of God knows what.
These boxes, where did they come from?
Of that ship that came in with the storm. You know about that.
Yes, I had heard something. And what was on that ship?
Well, the boxes. They were full of mold, like someone's gone and died in them. You know, it was from the minute that the boxes were put in the old place that things started turning very queer.
In what way?
Noises, for one.
Noises?
Yes, unholy and unwholesome, whisperings, scratchings, murmurings, like something with claws, scratching and scraping its way along the floors, and always from the same place.
The cellar?
That's right, the cellar.
And what else?
Rats, sir. The place is full of them.
And have you ever seen any human figure about the house?
No, I can't say no, I haven't seen nobody. I don't care if you don't believe me.
I do believe you, Mrs. Southwaite, and you've been most helpful. Thank you.
Night comes, shadows fall, mist gathers. I can feel him, I can feel his presence. Words fail me. He's here.
Yes, I have come.
Master!
Won't you turn and look at me, Renfield?
Yes, master!
There is fear in your eyes.
Of course.
And something else. Something other than fear.
Yes, master. She was here. Have seen her.
Yes. I too feel her presence. Her warm still fills the air. You spoke with her?
Yes, master.
Yes. And I too shall speak with her soon. And she will hear my voice. And then, she will hear no other.
She will be yours.
Mine. Yes. And no one this time will take her back.
And what for me?
For you?
What then for me?
Did you not like what I sent you?
Flies, spiders, birds.
It is life.
Small, mean little lives. Not enough.
So is your life. That is what you are.
No, no, I'm of your kind.
No, you are not of my kind. You will never be. You are as you are. Be content with it.
Oh, that can't be true.
No, you would say no to me. You would dare. I could crush you, little man. I could crush you like one of the birds you feed upon. It would mean nothing to me. You live because I chose you to live. And if I choose you to die, you die. There. I chose you to live. And I give you something. Your freedom.
Freedom?
To leave this place. Your attendants sleep. The doors to your cell are open. Go.
Go? Go where? There's nothing for me out there.
Same as here, Renfield. Nothing. I am done with you. For a while you have amused me. But now, I put you from me. But for the small service you have done, I give you this. Your life.
It's no life.
Then die! That too may be a gift.
No!
She sleeps here tonight. For safety, she thinks. I feel her breathing. Soft.
This is what I've learned about Count Dracula, and what I've told others when I returned. He had been known at the East for a very long time. First, as a warrior of noble race, fighting for his homeland against the Turks. He had been a man of great intelligence, strength, courage, and determination. And he was merciless with his dealings against his enemy. Merciless and cruel. It was whispered about him, even then, that he had made dealings with the evil one. A pact was made, maybe, or just the will was so strong that even the dead couldn't subdue it. Whatever the case, he went from a life natural to life unnatural. From being a mortal man into becoming the undead, the Nosferatu, the vampire. And this is why we have met here together. As the danger is imminent, we must act with all of our urgency.
Even more urgency now that Renfield has escaped.
He's still at large. Arthur and I have been helping to search for him all day. Looks as if he just vanished from the face of the earth.
No, he'll be near, but hidden. He's a slave to Dracula.
From what Jonathan has told us, Mina is the most immediately vulnerable. Isn't that so?
Yes.
Then it would be best to remove her from the danger. She should leave now and return to London.
Well, what do you think about that, Mrs. Harker?
I appreciate your concern for my welfare, Arthur, but I'm determined to play my role in destroying this monster. Therefore, I shall not go. I shall stay.
Bravely spoken, Mrs. Harker. Let your courage and determination be an example to us all. If we want to succeed in our plan, we need those qualities as well. And do we have a plan? In a short time, the sun will be setting. We want to reach Carfax Manor in time to get Dracula at his rest. He will rise soon, going around doing his business. But meanwhile, we may strike our first blow. Contaminate the boxes in the earth, and the earth inside them, so no creature shall find rest there anymore.
Drive him into the open where you can face him outright.
Exactly so, Mr. Morris.
And then?
Then, when the sun rays hit him, we shall have him at our mercy. Armed with the weapon of goddess and the prayer of God, we shall be able to remove him from this earth forever and put him into hell, where he belongs.
I wish I thought it would be as simple as it sounds.
You're right to speak words of caution, Mr. Albert. You must not underestimate his power and his great intelligence. Mr. Harker, you must stay here with your wife. Secure the house from the inside as I've shown you. I will. Go do it now. Mr. Morris, Mr. Hallwood, Dr. Stewart, make yourself comfortable for tonight's business. Our weapons are downstairs. I'll join you shortly. I just want to talk with Mrs. Harker for a short time. He'll come for you again.
Again? You know.
You wear a scarf around your neck to hide the wounds. And there are many other factors I've learned about throughout the years. Was it last night?
Last night, yes.
And does your husband know?
No, for I hardly knew what it was myself. I thought it was a bad dream until I looked in the mirror.
And do you think you're strong enough to subdue it?
I hope I am.
I know you hope, and you shall subdue it. There are some qualities inside you that are rare, such courage and determination, and that is what attracts him to you. And let that shall be what defeats him.
I pray to God it will.
Just this one night, Mrs. Harker. One night, and after that, you shall be free of him.
The sun set. Night came. I went to our room. There were flowers of garlic hung from the window frames. A crucifix stood bravely on the table. Another crucifix on a chain was hung on my neck. Already Jonathan lay in a heavy sleep across the bed. Already a mist was gathering outside. Already the room was filled with a sweet, heavy scent. And then, as if from somewhere far off, or somewhere deep inside, his voice spoke.
What are those trinkets against my power? These have no authority over me. Remove that. Come closer. You are afraid.
Yes.
There is no need to be.
No need?
You think I bring death? I bring life.
I know what you bring. If it would be death, I would welcome it. It's neither death nor life. It's something unholy.
For centuries I have walked my world alone, in fierce joy, but in weariness too. The weariness of solitude. For so long, I have yearned for a companion to share with me this world, this eternity. And I shall walk alone no more. One shall become my companion. You will walk beside me.
No!
Listen, I could feed on you as I fed on the others. You become undead and feed on others in your turn. Yet I sense in you a kinship, a likeness to myself, the same strong will and ability of character. Do you not sense the same? Is it not so? You cannot deny it. You know it is our destiny to walk together, to feed upon this world, to devour it all. And so, I do not feed upon you, I do not force you, but I ask of you to become as I, equal and free, to feed upon me.
No, I will not.
You shall not deny me. You will be mine.
Perhaps, but never willingly.
Then your husband is dead.
No!
Come to me. Come to me, and he lives. Let us make our pact.
What the pact was, and how it was made, I have not told anyone, nor will ever tell. But there, in the dark room, it seemed my soul floated from my body, crossed immense spaces, and I saw great forests and dark mountains, and a wide plain stretching between them. And yet there was more beyond the mountains. And where the earth ended, the mountains rose. And I was running, and the horizon rolled endlessly beneath my feet, and there was no end to them.
They woke me in the early hours of the morning. Mina was still sleeping. They took me out of the room, not to disturb her. There was only the two of them, and from their faces, I figured out that something was terribly wrong.
Wrong? Yes, all wrong. I should have known that he wouldn't be taken that easily.
What do you mean? Where are the others?
Dead.
No.
I'm sorry, but yes.
Tell me what happened.
Well, we came to the manor some time after sunset. All was dark and silent. Quincy and Arthur remained by the door. The professor and I went down to the cellar. We found the boxes, but there were only 4.
4? But he must have been taken to some other place. It was then I realized that he accepted us. Nonetheless, we set up on our work, opened the lids of the boxes, sprinkled the holy water inside, and placed his crosses there, so no creature shall find rest there anymore.
But just as we were finishing, we heard cries from above. We raced upstairs, and there we saw them. 4 creatures. Wolf or human, I couldn't tell.
They were hellhounds, which came at Dracula's bidding. They had struck down those 2 poor men, and were feeding up on them.
I heard the sounds of their jaws tearing and ripping.
And Arthur and Quincy?
Arthur was already dead when we came there, and Quincy died as we knelt beside him.
Where are they now?
We threw the bodies inside the house, placed his crosses over them, so there should be no made any further desecration. We must go there tomorrow and give them a proper burial.
Of course, but what's to be done now?
I confess, I'm not certain. We have failed.
So I knew that I, and I alone, must destroy this monster. When I learned from Professor Van Helsing and Dr. Seward what had happened, when I saw their weakened, exhausted faces, when I saw how the shock of it struck at Jonathan brought back the horror of his own experiences, I knew that I, and I alone, must destroy him. For what the monster was, I too was now, in part. But the strength he had given me could be turned against him.
You've come to seek him?
Yes.
But you found only me?
Where you are, he will not be far.
It's true. He holds me fast, squeezing my soul. Now free, he says. But he knows I will never be. Not until...
He is destroyed.
Yes. You will destroy him?
If I can.
It's too much of him in you.
No!
You're of his kind.
No!
Yes. He holds you fast. The hunger, the power growing in you.
Not yet! I fight it! I will destroy him and destroy the darkness within me.
Not alone. On the end you would falter. But together, you and I.
You?
Yes, I will be free of him at last. He scalds my soul, burns in me. I wish to be a human again.
You know where he is?
Yes. There, the abbey, the crypt. He lies there now. Go. Walk with him the whole night. I shall burn his place, give him no sanctuary, and he will die when the sunset comes. Now go.
As the sky reddened, I went to the abbey. As the last rays of light splashed upon its walls, I walked among its ruined stones, entered the broken doorway, and descended to the darkness beneath the earth. And there I found him.
I knew you would come.
Together in the dark we stood, and I could feel a part of me drawing towards him.
Tonight I shall not feed. It is not necessary. But we shall resume our pact again. Come closer.
Yes, but not here, outside.
Outside on the cliff top, where I fed on the other.
Yes, there.
Yes, this is fitting.
Such visions I saw that night, wonders and terrors.
It is almost finished now. You feel the power growing in you. Soon, there will be nothing but that power, and you will shed your mortality like a dry skin.
In the east, the sky was lightening. The morning winds blew in fresh from the ocean. On the earth, the dew glimmered. In the sky, the stars dim.
I must go now, but seek me out again tomorrow night, and our pact shall be finished.
No! You will never hunt or feed again!
What have you done, Renfield?
No sanctuary, no place of rest. All close to him now. Holy water, God's flesh.
Yeah.
And you shall die.
You have betrayed me.
Yes, poor Renfield, wretched Renfield. Renfield who was nothing to you. No!
My last act in this world. Now let day come. Let the light of your world burn me to dust. It shall know me no more, and I leave it with my undying hate. Ah!
And so we walked through the flames, and were purged of the evil. And though it had cost us dear, the evil had been defeated, and the good, as it always must, prevail.
But the wounds of the battle have gone deep into our flesh, and we always bore scars. All have lost something, and none would ever be the same.
So we went back to what we could salvage of our lives, settled down, had children, lived comfortably, though not in great prosperity. And if ever we spoke of that desperate time, it was as of something long past and done with. For in the end, we had peace of spirit and mind.
But still, even now I dream. And in my dream, I'm standing beneath a great expanse of sky, lit by numberless stars. And ahead of me, there's a wide grassland stretching out into the distance, where the dark shadows of mountains rise. And it's all so clear and bright and sharp. And there is such silence, such longing. And the moon is full. And we're wolves. And we're running. And the horizons roll endlessly beneath our feet.